You've definitely heard the buzzwords flying around. AI, machine learning, deep learning. People use them all the time, almost like they mean the exact same thing. But do they? And more importantly, does the difference really matter? Well, let's get into it.
And look, it's totally understandable why people get them mixed up. I mean, they sound like they're all part of the same big techie family. And, well, in a way, they are.
But the reality is they're not the same, not at all. They're actually different layers of one huge idea. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to break it all down piece by piece and see exactly how they fit together. And don't worry, we're keeping it simple. Okay, to really get this, we've got to start by zooming way out to the biggest, broadest concept of them all, artificial intelligence. So think of AI as this giant umbrella, right? It covers everything else. It's the whole field, the whole grand idea, dedicated to one single, massive goal, making computers smart. We're talking about building machines that can think, that can reason, and act in ways that, well, seem human. So what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, it's about building machines that can tackle really tough problems, make smart decisions, or even get creative. Seriously, every single time you chat with a voice assistant or see one of those self-driving cars on the road, that's it. That's the big dream of AI coming to life. Okay, so if AI is the big dream, the what, then how do we actually get there? What's the how? Well, that brings us one layer deeper, to machine learning. All right, so machine learning, or ML for short, is a specific way of doing AI. And here's the absolute game changer. Instead of a programmer sitting down and writing millions of lines of code with if this, then that rules for every single possibility, ML just lets the computer figure things out for itself. All it needs is a ton of data. You know, this quote just nails it. It's like teaching a kid with flashcards instead of handing them a dense instruction manual. Think about it. You don't teach a child to catch a ball by explaining physics and trajectory, right? No, you just toss them the ball again and again. They learn from doing. That's exactly what machine learning does. It learns from examples. So let's really break this down. The old way was programming with super specific rules. You had to think of every single possible scenario and write a rule for it. It was exhausting. The ML way, totally different. You just give the machine thousands and thousands of examples, and it starts to see the patterns all on its own. It's a massive shift in how we build smart stuff. And believe me, you are using this every single day, probably without even realizing it. You know how Netflix is scarily good at recommending your next binge watch? Or how your email somehow just knows what's spam? Yep, that's machine learning, working its magic behind the scenes. Okay, but what about the really, really complex stuff? The kind of AI that, well, that feels a little bit like magic? For that, we've got to go even deeper. We need to talk about the powerhouse of modern AI, deep learning. So deep learning, or DL, is this super advanced, super powerful type of machine learning. And it gets its name because its structure is kind of inspired by our own brains. It uses what are called neural networks that have tons and tons of layers all stacked on top of each other. And that's the deep part. Imagine it's like an assembly line for figuring things out. Data comes in at one end, the input layer. The first layer of workers might just spot really simple stuff, like an edge or a curve. Then it passes its work to the next layer. That layer might combine those edges and curves to see a shape, like an eye or a nose. And it keeps going, layer after layer, getting more and more complex, until the final layer at the very end can put it all together and go, yep, that's a cat. It's this depth that lets it learn these incredibly complex patterns that a human could never program by hand. And that layered approach is what gives deep learning its superpowers. It's the tech behind some of the most jaw-dropping things we're seeing today. I'm talking about your phone recognizing your face to unlock, or AIs that can create incredible art from just a few words. And yeah, you guessed it. It's the engine that makes things like ChatGPT possible. Okay, so we've got the big dream, AI. We've got the method to get there, machine learning, and we've got the powerhouse, deep learning. So now let's put it all together and see the final picture. And really, it's this simple. Deep learning is a specific kind of machine learning, and machine learning is one of the main ways we create artificial intelligence. They fit inside each other, kind of like those Russian nesting dolls. This is the key takeaway right here. All deep learning is machine learning, and all machine learning is AI. But, and this is the important part, it doesn't work the other way around. Not all AI uses machine learning. Remember those old rule-based systems? That's still AI, just a different kind. So, to really lock this in, let's think about it like this. First up, you have AI. That's the big dream, the whole reason we're doing any of this, to build smart machines.
Then you've got machine learning. That's the how. It's the method. The main tool we're using to make that dream happen by teaching computers from data.
And finally, there's deep learning. Now that's the magic. It's the most powerful, cutting-edge part of that whole toolkit, the thing that delivers those wow moments. So the next time you hear someone throwing these terms around, AI, ML, DL, you'll know exactly what's what. They're not just random buzzwords. They're different layers of the same amazing story. The story of how we're building a more intelligent future.